Decides to try some uppercuts. Watch. Roland, still plenty game, will punch off the ropes and counter with his own right.
First $1 million gate since the famous Dempsey Tunney long count battle in Chicago 8 years before. By the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cash Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Miss Cass Hashtag JBT, Al Booger, Mike Mazik, Technique in the building. Salute to everyone and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, The Box Storian. Today, the life and career of Felix Tito Trinidad. Felix Tito Trinidad. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Storian, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone? Friday afternoon edition of Cast Sports, the Box Storian, at the end of another big week of boxing history. And we're going to close it out with the profile as usual. Felix Tito Trinidad. Fought in that era when everybody had fire resumes. He was really in the era where when everybody fought everybody ended, because after that was when Floyd brought that old situation into it, and nowadays everybody's worried about their old. So yeah, Felix was in that era with Oscar and all those guys, because Felix fought them all. Fought Oscar, Sweet Pea, Roy Jones, B-Hop, William Joppy, fire resume, Hector Camacho, but everybody had fire resumes around that time. And we're going to get into Felix's today. Did I say Winky right? Yep, Fort Winky too. Fire resume, okay? And don't knock Felix down. You knock Felix down, when he got up, it was on then. Because Felix wanted to knock you down right away. So yeah, trainer should have told his opponent, don't knock him down. Yeah, it was on then. Felix Tito Trinidad. And we got the big fight tomorrow. Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall. We're going to go over that card in a few minutes. See who else is on it. I think Ricky Hatton's son is on it. Campbell Hatton. It's not too much out there for Campbell because he's at 140. And where's he going to go? Up to 147? I don't think so. But we're going to look at this card. I think we got a championship fight, the British Commonwealth title, something like that. And yeah, we got some big stuff coming up. Next weekend is the big rematch. Oshaki and Conceição. Yeah, the big rematch. The one where Oshaki said, don't even assign any judges. Oshaki said it's not going to the cards this time because of what happened to him last time. Man almost threw a shutout and didn't get the win. So yeah, Oshaki said don't even have to be any judges in the building next week. And yeah, we got a card Wednesday. Yeah, in the middle of the week, Wednesday, not Pro Box. I forgot who's on it, but yeah, we got a card coming up Wednesday. I think it might be from Las Vegas. We got a couple next weekend. We're gonna look at them in a minute. Let's look at this card tomorrow then, before we get started. The Regis Prograis and Jack Catterall. It's in Manchester, England. I think it's broadcast on The Zone. Now, Jack Catterall comes in with 29 wins, just one loss, 13 knockouts. He really should be undefeated because, I thought he beat Jack Taylor in that fight. It wasn't just a regular fight. It was for undisputed, man. They robbed that man of undisputed, and, he likely will never say never, but probably will never get another shot at undisputed because that don't come along every day. And especially at 140 where all the belts are spread apart like they are. So yeah, that fight was undisputed when everybody thought it should have got the win, because Catterall was close to winning undisputed super lightweight gold from Josh Taylor before controversial scorecards stopped him. And a majority of the boxing world had him winning that fight, right? And that was in May of was that this year? No, that was last year. Right. Yeah, that was last year, but he comes in at 24-1 for this fight against Regis. Okay, super lightweight, and he's won 3 straight since the loss to Taylor. Right, coming off 3 straight wins. Now Regis comes in at 24-2. Right? No, 29-2. Catterall is 29-1. Regis 29-2. Regis has 24 knockouts. That's not bad. 82.7% knockout rate. Yeah. Yep. And Regis wait a minute now. Yeah, Regis won the world WBC super lightweight title in 2022, but he lost it in his last fight in December 23 against Devin Haney. And it was a one-sided affair. And now the 35-year-old Regis is looking to prove his off night won't be replicated against Catterall tomorrow. Regis Prograis versus Jack Catterall. Let's see what's on the undercard. Reese Bellotti versus Michael Gomez Jr. That's super featherweight. That's the British Commonwealth super featherweight title. I believe that's the co-main. Bellotti comes in at 19-5, while Gomez is 21-1. Okay. Then we have also on the card we have Pat McCormick versus William Andres Herrera. That's in the welterweight division. McCormick's still in prospect status, 5-0. Herrera is 16-3. Okay, no belts on the line for that one. Then we have James Flint versus Campbell Hatton. That's a rematch. Flint won the first one. That was at I think it was March of 2023. Flint won it by a 10-round unanimous decision. Hatton is 14-1. Flint being his only loss. Yeah, Flint is his only loss. And Hatton is 14-1. Flint is 14 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws. Thomas Hill in the building. What's up, T Hill? Just looking at this card for tomorrow real quick. It's like about 7 fights on it, including the main event. Yeah, Ricky Hatton's son is on it. He's going up against the guy that gave him his only loss. It's a rematch. Flint won the first fight, 10th round unanimous decision. A couple more fights on the card. Joe McGrail versus Lewis Morris. That's at featherweight. Okay, no belts at stake. McGrail comes in at 10-0, and Morris is 8-2. And then we have Junaid Bostain versus Mako Samareva. Bostain is 9-0. Samareva is 9 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw. That's at super welterweight, 154. And finally we have William Crolla versus Lorenzo Grasso. Another super welterweight, no belts at stake. Crolla is 5-0, Grasso 62. Couple prospects. Yeah, that's the card tomorrow. Jack Catterall versus Regis Prograis. Yep, the winner moves on to potentially something big. The loser, I don't know what happens to the loser. They both, Regis is 35. I mean, Catterall is 30. I think they both might be 30. I know Regis is 35. I'm not sure Catterall's age. Let me see. I think I just said it. Let me check it again. But they're both getting up there, so the loser might be in trouble as far as getting another title shot or anything. But the winner will be in good shape. You know, all the belts spread out. So yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out the age. It's on the zone. Yeah, I think they both might be 35. Yeah. Yep. Regis is 35 for sure. I don't think Catterall is that far behind him. Anybody know Catterall's age? Before I go Google it and turn on. Okay, let's find out Catterall's age. Jack Catterall. Not hard. I was just looking at his box rec. Still should be sitting in there. Yeah, I don't think he's too far behind Regis, but the loser of this fight might be headed toward gatekeeper status. You know what I mean? Is it in there yet? Is it in there? No. Salute, Miss Cass. Haven't seen you in a while. In about 15 minutes or so. Okay, here we go. We're trying to find out Jack Catterall's age. Regis is 35. And Jack is come on, Jack. There's Jack. Man, it doesn't even say it. Okay, we're gonna find out. But how's everybody today? It's Friday. Man, I got a big week planned for next week. Don't miss next week. I can't even wait to tell y'all. So, of course, Monday, fantasy matchups Monday this time is going to be the Big Bear, Sonny Liston. Okay? Matching up against heavyweights from different eras. And then Tuesday is going to be speed versus power. Okay? Which one is most advantageous to have? And what about the fighters that had both, like a Mike Tyson? We're going to talk about speed versus power Tuesday. And then we're going to talk about 10 to 12 of the fastest boxers of all time. And then 10 to 12 of the fastest, the most powerful boxers of all time. Speed versus power Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I got a show out of the chat. It's from Jarrell Hattie. He wanted to see a show on the best showman in boxing history. We're going to talk about some of the best showmen in boxing history Wednesday. And then the boxing in the States next Thursday is going to be a very good one. It's Michigan. History of boxing in Michigan, man. You know, that Kronk, Jim, and then the boxers from Michigan. Wow, the boxers whose careers played out of Michigan. Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Big Dre in the building. What's up, Big Dre? Hashtag JBT. How are you today? We're going to be talking about Felix Tito Trinidad. Is that his name? Trinidad. In about 5 minutes. How old is Jack Catterall? Damn. I can't find it. Mike Grimm. What's up, Mike Grimm? Salute, Mike. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm trying to find Jack Catterall's age. Regis is 35. I got 2 phones and a laptop right here and can't find it. BoxRec didn't tell me his age. Wikipedia will, though. Let me go on Wikipedia. I gotta know now. I'm not going no further until I know how old Jack Catterall is. I don't think he's too far behind Regis. Regis is 35, though. We will know in a matter of minutes now. Fast as my hands can go. Okay, here we go. Is it in there yet? Damn, I can't even see the chat. Okay, here we go. He was born 1993. What does that make him? 31? 31. Yep, July 3rd, 1993. Jack is 31. Okay, he could lose and still bounce back. Now Regis at 35. The loss will hurt Regis more, right? Agreed that it would Catterall at this point in their careers. Yeah, I'll put it like that. Regis will come out at worse if he loses. Yeah. Yeah, but this fight is in Manchester, England. And yeah, man, we got some good stuff coming up because y'all know, remember, next weekend, the rematch. O'Shaquie and Seattle. And remember, I told you, O'Shaquie said, save your money. Don't even pay no judges. It will not be needed. Okay? He said, don't even, just keep your money. Whatever he's going to pay the judges, put it on his check. because Conceição will not see round 12. Okay, so we will see. We don't have long to wait. One more week. It'll be upon us. That's going to be a good one. Where is that? Vegas? Las Vegas? I'm not sure. I know we're getting it. Thomas Hill said Mike Rim, the fisherman, was in the building. I mean, that big fishing contest we were supposed to have or something. Better talk to Jay Hardcore. Yeah. You better get cold out there. Mike Rim does that ice fishing. We can't have no ice fishing contest because Michael win that going away. You know. But let's see here. Yeah, we got a fight Wednesday. Coming up next week, Wednesday. That's something. No. Everything worked perfect before I start and looking up stuff. But as soon as the show starts, and I can't find nothing. Man. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. Here we go. Yeah, Jack Catterall Regis tomorrow. That's the only fight this weekend. Wednesday is from Puerto Rico. Juan Carlos Camacho, Jason Mama is headlining the card. What's his name? Jason Mama. And then, of course, next weekend from Verona, New York is the big one. Ralston Conceição and Oshaki. And then something. All them times Ralston got robbed against Valdez, and then I thought he beat Navarrete too, and then he wins his title by robbery. I guess they figured it was time for a robbery in Robson's favor. But it's a great card. Raymond Muratalla is on it. Yep, this is next weekend. Abraham Nova, Kahai Tucker. Very good card. Ali Feliz. Yeah, that's a top-ranked joint there. And then also next Saturday from Las Vegas, Floyd Schofield back in action. The Towering Inferno's sister, Gabriella Pandora, Aunt McQueen in the building. What's up, Aunt McQueen? Salute. It's a fight tonight with Sheedy Ellis. Sheedy Ellis is fighting tonight. So yeah, we got action tonight and tomorrow night. This must be Rashidi's first fight since that one against Vila. Was that last year or the year before last? Yeah, I think that was last year. Remember the tank card over there in DC start the year out last year? And yeah, when Vila came back in that 12th round, I think he put Rashidi down twice, right? So Rashidi is back in action tonight. Okay. Now we was talking about next weekend. Yeah, Floyd Schofield and Gabriella Fondora. Eric Tudor. That's not a bad card. Bektemir Belakouziad. Oh, that is a very good card. Jurgis Fulgham. And then there's another one too from Birmingham, England, Liam Davis. I think is that the one that Barroso sparked out. Chantel Cameron. Man. We closing the year out in style. Because you know we got the big heavyweight joint coming up. That's December. Yeah. But before that even gets there. And remember the big one down in Norfolk, Virginia, the Davis brothers, Keyshawn, Troy Isley on the card, Abdullah Mason, Calvin Davis, wow. Keon Davis, Robert Merriweather. That's November the 8th, Norfolk, Virginia. A Bob joint. Got some young guys on the card, some of Bob Father's young stars. And we got a Boots and Kern, November 9th. What day is that on? Because Keyshawn is on the 8th. Is that a Friday? Yeah, Keyshawn is on a Friday. Boots and Kern is on the 9th. Man, I hope we don't. Oh man, I hope Curran don't do that again. What he did last time, man. Or if he does, I hope Boots is more prepared this time because Curran I don't like to say boxers run, but Curran ran, man. Come on now. Curran ran. Yeah. Bam. Ooh, that is a good card in Philly. Bam on that card too. Yeah. Raymond Ford. This is Raymond's first fight at junior lightweight. Remember his last fight at featherweight, he lost his title to the guy from England. He hadn't made a defense yet, but I thought he was on the schedule. Yeah, but yeah, Raymond Murtaugh was on that one. And then, of course, November 15th, Mike and Jake. But also a great fight on that card, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Only 10 rounds, so Amanda said she wasn't fighting anymore 10 rounds, 2 minutes, but this one she is, her and Katie. This is for the undisputed junior welterweight championship. And guess what? Guess what Katie Taylor is doing? Oh no, Katie's been undisputed at junior welterweight. I agree with her in third division, but I think she had junior welterweight before, so nah. I was gonna say we're gonna have a 3 division, four belt undisputed, but I think Katie had junior welterweight before, didn't she? Yeah. But yeah, that is the year is looking great. We're gonna get ready to get started on Tito. But today the green is also on that card, Jake Mike card, yeah. Miss Cass woke up and told me last week that Jake Paul knocked Mike Tyson out and had me going for a couple of minutes. I had to think, did they have that fight yet? I was like, wow, YouTube is going to go off the chain tonight, but then she started laughing. I was believing it for a minute there. And then November 16th is the next Riyadh season. Zerto, Chris Williams-Smith for Zerto's cruiserweight WBA title. Jose Ramirez back in action and Arnold Barboza. That should be good. Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza. That should be pretty good there. Galazzo and Freshmart. Yeah, the guy's name Knockout CP Freshmart. And he's got a brother named Freshmart also. Oscar Duarte, Kenneth Sims Jr., not bad. William Zepeda, Tevin Farmer, not bad. Okay, but let's get ready to start on man, this fighter schedule we got. I could make a show out of that. Damn. Okay, the rematch between Navarrete and Oscar Valdez. Again. Rafael Espinosa. Rafael Espinosa and Robisi rematch. Man, let me get off of this schedule because this thing is just fire. Yeah, remember Espinosa took the belt from Robisi. They was trying to cheat for Robisi because they took a long time to hit the cards, but they couldn't do it. Now, if Ramirez hadn't got that knockdown in that last round, I think they would have got him. But I think he would have won without that knockdown, but it's a good thing he got it because they were trying to get him, man. They were trying to get him. Yeah, T-Hill, I hope so. Because if Curran does that again, man, I don't want to see Boots run around and ring behind this guy for 12 rounds again, man. That was ridiculous. I don't even know how this fight came to, but Curran was a mandatory, so I don't know. It's just crazy that they fighting again. And Boots wanted to go after the guy, what's his name? Brian Mitchell, what's his name? You know, the one with the belt. Boots was trying to go after for his second belt at 47. Brian something. I think he's on the Keyshawn card. Norman. Brian Norman, that's the one. Boots wanted to go after him, but Eddie lost the damn purse bid. I think it was $500,000 he got outbid by. Why didn't he borrow that from Turkey? Turkey would have loaned it to him. He's done business with Turkey before. I don't know what Eddie was thinking about. And Boots made it clear when he signed with Eddie that he was going after Undisputed at 147. So Eddie should have went all out to make that fight for the young man. But, you know, those things happen. So it's Boots and Curran. Okay, but right now it's going to be Felix Tito Trinidad. Everybody ready for the weekend? It's here. Okay. Now, this is the right phone right here. I got the chat phone, then I got the show phone. I got the laptop going. Well, we ready to go there. Salute to everybody. JBT spokesperson in here, Big Dre, hashtag JBT. Salute Big Dre. I gotta call you, Big Dre, this weekend because we're gonna get that fire fantasy matchups drop you gave me, man. I want everybody to see that thing, man. I had asked Big Dre to make me a drop for fantasy matchups Monday, and I was expecting a little something, but man, he gave me this fire thing, man, and I haven't been able to get it on, so I'm gonna call you this weekend, Big Dre. We're gonna get that thing together this weekend for the Big Bear Monday. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legend. I call him the Big Bad Bear. Ali called him the Big Ugly Bear, but officially it's the Big Bear Monday. How would the Big Bear do against Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson, Tyson Fury? Yeah, he's gonna fight some people from this era. Usyk, Tyson, Mike Tyson, George Foreman. Now, George Foreman said he sparred Sonny Liston. He said Sonny Liston is the only man that ever made him back up. Ali didn't make him back up, but Ali made him go down. So, what's worse, backing up or getting sparked out? He said Sonny was the only man to ever make him back up. Ali was the only man to ever spark him out. But George, but you know what he was saying. Sonny was a bad man. Make Big George back up, even just sparring. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. The life and career of Felix Tito Trinidad. Right. I had to double check. Is it Felix today? Yeah. I'm forgetful. No, I knew it. Okay. Felix Tito Trinidad. One of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Had it up and my thumb hit it. Now I don't have it. Okay. Now Felix competed from 1990 to 2008. He had an 18-year career. Okay. 1990 to 2008. He held multiple world championships in 3 weight classes. And like I just said, he's considered to be one of the greatest Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Now, after winning 5 national amateur championships, very decorated amateur too, in Puerto Rico, Trinidad debuted as a professional when he was just 17 years old. And he won his first world championship by defeating Maurice Blocker to win the IBF welterweight title in 1993. A title he would hold for almost 7 years, making 15 defenses. Okay, and we're gonna go into these fights a little bit more deeper. I'm just touching on them briefly right now. Yeah, he made 15 title defenses over 7 years on his first title, the IBF, right? Won it in 93, kept it till about 2000. Yeah, and as his career continued, Felix defeated Oscar De La Hoya to win the WBC and lineal welterweight titles in 1999. He beat Fernando Vargas to win the unified WBA and IBF junior middleweight titles in 2000. And he beat William Joppy for the WBA middleweight title in 2001, right? And Felix's first professional loss was against Bernard Hopkins in 2001. And following that, he retired from boxing for the first time. Now, he made his ring return by beating Ricardo Mayorga in 2004, right? After a few years out of the ring. After a losing effort against Winky Wright in 2005, Felix retired for a second time. And then in 2008, he came back for a second time, right? And he lost to Roy Jones Jr. And then entered a hiatus before clarifying the status of his career. Okay? Now, he's frequently mentioned among the best Puerto Rican boxers of all time by sports journalists and analysts. along with Juan Laporte, Esteban de Jesus, Wilfredo Vasquez, Miguel Cotto, Wilfred Benitez, Wilfredo Gomez, Hector Camacho, Edwin Rosario, and Carlos Ortiz. That's a who's who of Puerto Rican boxers right there. In the year 2000, Trinidad was voted Fighter of the Year by the Ring Magazine. That's a big one there, Ring Magazine, right up there with Passport. And the Boxing Writers Association of America. Yeah. He is ranked number 30 on the Ring Magazine's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. Number 30. Not bad, out of 100. Got in front of 70 of them. And in 2002, Ring named him the 51st greatest fighter of the past 80 years. In 2013, Trinidad became eligible and was voted into the 2014 class of the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Yep, went in 2014, Tito did. Sure did. He was officially inducted into the hall during a ceremony held on June 4th, 2014, becoming the 10th Puerto Rican to receive that honor. Now, he was a very decorated amateur, too. Let's look at his amateur career. Okay, very decorated amateur fighter, Felix was. Take a look at it real quick before we get started. Now, he was champion in the International Boxing Federation, in the World Boxing Association, and the World Boxing Council. Okay. For his career, he had an impressive record with 42 wins and 3 losses, with 35 by knockout. In his career as an athlete in this discipline began at 12 years of age, as he won 5 awards at the amateur championships in his home country, right? 100 pounds, 112, 119, 126, and 132. His amateur record was 51 wins and 6 losses. Okay. Now let's get ready to go into his professional career. Now, Felix fought out of the orthodox stance, right? And he was 5'11" tall, had a 72-inch reach. And he had 45 fights during his career. He won 42, lost 3. Had 35 knockouts. That's 83.3% knockout rate. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Felix's professional career. Okay. Now, started out at welterweight. Okay. And he debuted as a professional on March 10th, 1990, when he was 17 years old, right? His first fight was against Angel Romero. Okay? 17 years old. Made his debut. And Angel Romero was also making his debut in that fight, right? And Trinidad won by knockout in the second round. Okay, I gotta get my glasses now. These letters kind of small as here. Already got bad eyes. Yeah, they were much better. You better have them on. Now, yeah, he beat Angel Romero, who was also making his debut by knockout in his first fight, right? Second round. At the beginning of his career, Felix knocked out 9 of his first 10 opponents. He then competed against more experienced boxers after his 10th fight, like Jake Rodriguez. Okay. He fought Jake on December 6, 1991, and he won the fight by unanimous decision, but he suffered an injury on his right hand, and then he was inactive for 5 months while recovering from the injury. And, you know, back around that time, 5 months, the prospect might have fought 3 or 4 times, you know, back in them days. Yeah. And then he fought Raul Gonzalez. On May 3rd, 1992, made his return in Cayey, Puerto Rico. This fight was the main event of the night. Both Gonzalez and Trinidad weighed in at 142 pounds, right? It was that welterweight. Gonzalez had a record of 8 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws, with 5 knockouts, while Felix came in at 13 wins, no losses, hadn't lost yet, with 10 knockouts. Started out with a pretty good knockout rate, too, 10 of his first 13. Okay, what did I do? Here we go. Okay, yeah, he knocked out 10 of his first 13 opponents. And Gonzalez went down 3 times, and Trinidad took the fight in round 4 by TKO. And he would add another win by knockout to his record, and would now make it 14-0 with 11 knockouts. Okay, so then he's getting ready to win his first title. Trinidad traveled to San Diego, California, and defeated the IBF welterweight champion, Maurice Blocker, in 2 rounds. Okay, that's his first title against Maurice Blocker. Beat Maurice in 2 rounds, right? This fight was, beat Maurice Blocker in 2 rounds in a fight card on June 19th, 1993, televised by Showtime. And Trinidad spent the first 2 minutes of the fight analyzing Blocker's style. And with 11 seconds left in the first round, one of Trinidad's punches injured Blocker, who barely survived the round. Then in the second round, Blocker's condition improved, but after the first 30 seconds, another Trinidad punch injured him again. Trinidad followed with a combination, scoring a knockdown in 149 of the round. That's when the referee stepped in and stopped the fight, right? Afterward, tournament organizer Don King's exclusive relationship to stage fight for the cable channel Showtime meant that Trinidad would be showcased regularly on Showtime Championship Boxing. Okay? Trinidad versus Camacho. Trinidad versus Camacho. Hector Macho Camacho. Trinidad defended his title for the next 3 years against several opponents. His first fight in Las Vegas was against Hector Camacho on January 29th, 1994. He was cautious during the first rounds and received a cut over his left eye. In the third round, he connected a solid combination that made Camacho change to a defensive stance. Throughout the fight, Trinidad was on the offensive and won the fight by unanimous decision in what was his first decision since he won the world championship. You know, going into that fight, he had knocked everybody out, remember? And the scores for this fight were 117-109, 116-110, and 119-106, all for Tito. Wide unanimous decision. Wide unanimous decision for Tito. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. Okay, let's move on. Trinidad versus Campos. Trinidad versus Campos. On September 17th, 1994, Trinidad traveled to the MGM Grand for a second straight fight to compete in a title defense against Yuri Boy Campos. Yuri Boy Campos. Yuri Boy had a record of 56-0. Yep, now you heard right. Yuri Boy was 56-0 when he challenged Felix for his welterweight title. In the second round, Campos scored a knockdown. And this was the second knockdown in Felix's career. Now, following the knockdown, Trinidad exchanged several combinations, injuring Campos's face and breaking his nose. In the fourth round, the referee stopped the fight. This was the first defeat in Yuri Boy Campos's career. Yep. Yuri Boy came out of that fight 56-1. Trinidad versus Carr. Oba Carr, out of that world famous Kronk gym. We're going to talk about Oba next week when we do Michigan. Boxing in the States, Michigan next week. That's going to be a good one. Next week is going to be off the chain, man. Don't miss it. I'm telling you. It's going to start with the Big Bear, Sonny Liston, fantasy matchups Monday. And it's going to end Friday with the profile, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. And 3 great Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in between. So you know that's going to be bad. Starting with the Big Bear and then with Sugar Ray. Don't miss it. Trinidad versus Carr. Trinidad's 4th fight outside Puerto Rico or the United States took place in Monterrey, Mexico. In Mexico. Trinidad was scheduled to defend his title against the undefeated over Carr, right? In the 2nd round, Carr scored a knockdown. It's the 3rd of Felix's career now. And the knockdown was the result of a quick right hand punch. Now, Trinidad continued the fight and pursued the challenger, who displayed a quick pace throughout the fight. Carr did. Carr displayed a quick pace. In the 4th round, Trinidad connected a solid punch that injured Carr. And in the 8th round, he scored 3 consecutive knockdowns before the referee stepped in and stopped the fight by TKO. Now, Felix spent the next 4 years defending his title against numerous fighters in fights televised on Showtime. Among these fights was a defense against Mahengi Zulu. I know his last name is Zulu. I think his first name is Mahengi. Okay? Against Zulu, I'll say that. He had a defense against Zulu. And Zulu was the number 2 challenger for Trinidad's title. This fight was a part of a card that took place on April 3rd, 1998 in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. And it marked the first time that Trinidad had performed on the island in 5 years. Wow. Now, Trinidad began the first round by cautiously analyzing the challenger's style. Felix had a history of starting out slow, but the round ended with quick exchanges after Zulu took the initiative in the offense. In the 2nd round, Zulu was actively pursuing Felix, but retreated when he received a solid jab sequence. Early in the 3rd round, a series of jabs opened the wound on Zulu's mouth, while the challenger's punches were not reaching their target. Now, right? Trinidad began the 4th round heavily on the offensive, connecting several combinations which hurt Zulu. Using this to land more punches in Zulu's head and body. He threw several combinations that hurt Zulu in the 4th round, right? And then one punch hit Zulu in the jaw, and he fell to the floor, tried to rise. But the referee stopped the fight before Zulu could get up. Another knockout for Felix. Then Trinidad versus Whitaker. Sweet Pea. That was a big one. On February 20th, 1999, Trinidad defended the welterweight championship against Pernell Whitaker, winning the fight by unanimous decision in a contest that marked his 13th successful defense, right? Remember I told you, what did he have? He had it for 7 years straight. This was his 13th defense here. And the fight began with both fighters displaying aggressive styles, which included excessive pushing. Remember we talked about this in the Whitaker profile a couple of weeks ago. There was a lot of excessive pushing in the fight. Now in the following rounds, both fighters used their jabs most of the time, with Trinidad gaining an advantage when Whitaker attempted to attack inside. Trinidad eventually scored a knockdown, right? In the 4th, 5th, and 6th rounds, the fighters exchanged combinations. Later in the fight, both fighters fell to the floor in what was ruled as accidental slips. In the 7th round, Whitaker displayed more offense, trading power punches with Trinidad. But the champion retained control of the fight tempo during the 8th, 9th, and 10th round. In the final round, Whitaker, with a badly swollen right eye, displayed a purely defensive stance, avoiding his opponent throughout the round, while Trinidad continued on the offense until the fight concluded. Now, I don't know why Sweet Pea did that, because he was clearly behind, way behind on the cards. So he must have just gave it up, because he went on the defensive in the last round, and the scores were 117, 111, 118, 109, and 118, 109, all for Trinidad. So being that far behind, why would you go on the defensive? Sweet Pea just about needed a knockout. I guess he knew he wasn't going to get it, so he just gave the fight up. Okay, that's what it sounds like to me. And we talked about that in the Sweet Pea profile a couple of weeks ago. Next is Trinidad versus Oscar. Felix had a fire resume too. Everybody had fire resumes back then. And like I told you, that was like the last era, the era of Trinidad, Oscar, Sweet Pea, all them guys. That was the last era when everybody fought everybody. Just before this era now, where these fighters tiptoe around like they're scared of each other. Everybody's worrying about their that's when that started, right after this era here. The Trinidad Oscar era is when everybody stopped fighting everybody. You know? Trinidad versus Oscar. You know, like back in that era, Tank, Devin, Shakur, T.O., all of them would have been fought each other. If they all fought back then, might have had rematches by now, you know? But now, none of them have even fought each other yet. And not even look like they're going to fight in the near future. Back in that era, man, guys, with that status, around the same weight classes, like I said, they fought each other. Some of them have fought each other twice. By the point where these guys are in their careers now. And when those guys were at this point, yeah, they had fought each other, many of them numerous times. It's boxing has just changed, though. You know, I came in boxing in the late 70s, and honestly, this is the weakest era I've ever seen right now in boxing. I'm not saying that nothing against the fighters, I'm just saying the way they move. You know, as far as getting the fights we want, this is the weakest era of boxing I've ever seen, man. Floyd started that with that O, though. But everybody's not going to be able to market it O like Floyd did. They need to realize that. You know, it's not a loss doesn't define you. It's what you do after that loss, you know. You got to bounce back. Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. Okay. In the spring of 1999, Don King and Oscar De La Hoya's promoter, Bob Father Aaron, agreed to co-promote a mega fight for the lineal WBC and IBF welterweight championships on September 18, 1999 at the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas. And one thing now that's not in boxing like it was back then, Don King is still in it, but he's not in it like he was back in them days. If he was still actively like that, we would be getting these fights because Don King knew how to make them, man. Him and the Godfather would make these fights. But Don, he's still in it, but not like he was back then. That was like Don's really last active years. Active years was back around that era because now, you know, he's like a minor player, but he was a big time player then. And if he was still in it like that, we would be getting these fights. Okay, we would be getting it. That's one big thing that's missing, Don King. He fought Oscar on September 18th, 1999 for the lineal WBC and IBF welterweight championships, right? This fight was at the Mandalay Bay Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alonzo Amazing in the building. What's up, Alonzo Amazing? Yeah, Fernando Valenzuela. Yeah. Fernando could throw that ball, man. Yes, he could. Southpaw, too. Yeah, Fernando was one of the great ones, man. Yeah. I think didn't he stay with the Dodgers his entire career? I believe. I think so. Yeah, but rest in peace. Fernando Valenzuela. Only reason I say his name right because I heard it said so many times. That's it, Valenzuela. Fernando was a bad man on that pitching mound. Yeah. Okay. Great left-hander. Okay, Oscar and Felix. Now, early in the fight, Oscar employed boxing to connect combinations while avoiding Felix's attacks. Now, the second round began with both fighters trading punches, but Oscar quickly returned to his previous tactic, which he employed in the third round. Now, in the fourth round, Felix pressured the offense, while De La Hoya tried to avoid his punches by moving. Now, both fighters eventually exchanged punches in the fifth round. Tito continued on the offensive, while Oscar attempted to remain on the outside. Right, Oscar tried to go around the corners of the ring. Now, Tito's eye was swollen following a trade of punches, and his nose was also bleeding. Tito was having a lot of problems finding Oscar, and he couldn't connect as flush as usual with his punches, although he did score at times. Now, Oscar's movement was not letting Tito land the combinations, and it was proclaimed by many to have been a lackluster fight. Oscar did a lot of moving in that fight. Now, in the eighth round, the swelling on Tito's eye was worsening. Oscar was scoring on Tito, but halfway through the 10th, Oscar stopped sticking and basically disengaged under instruction of his corner, who thought the fight was already won. Now, Oscar was to remain on his toes for the remainder of the fight, and Tito won the final two rounds, and the judges controversially gave Trinidad a close majority decision with scores of 115-113 for Tito, 115-114 for Tito, and the third judge had it 114-114. A lot of people thought Oscar had won, and everybody wanted the rematch, and that's one we never got, that rematch. Yeah, that was one that we definitely should have got the rematch, but we didn't get it. Okay, now how did I do that? Yeah, Melanin Queen 27 is in the building. What's up, Melanin Queen 27? Happy Friday. Good to see you. Hope your day is going well. We are talking about Felix Tito Trinidad. Just talked about the Oscar fight. Felix won a controversial majority decision. Very close fight. But see, Oscar took his feet off the gas. That was classic, taking your feet off the gas. Oscar stuck and moved and fought a brilliant fight throughout the fight, man, and was leading going into the championship rounds. But they said his corner told him to take his feet off the gas, and he did. And they gave it to Tito. You know, sometimes you take that foot off the gas and start playing prevent. Some judges don't like that, man. And when your opponent stays aggressive, and Tito clearly won the last two rounds, but I think he still also did have a good enough lead to do that. But still, you can't take your feet off the gas. You got to fight. You got to finish. Those championship rounds are the most important rounds of the fight, man. You know, I don't know why they told Oscar to take his foot off the gas, but he did, and he lost a very controversial. I still thought he won it, but the judges didn't think so. And if he had a fought through the championship rounds, he would have easily got the decision. Okay, now he goes. Felix goes up to junior middleweight to challenge. He went up against David Reed, I think. Yeah, David Reed. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Technique. He took his foot off the gas. All he had to do was finish, and he had it won. Yes. And I heard that his corner told him to do that. Why? He was sticking and moving. Felix could barely touch him. And then all of a sudden, he just went into that prevent nonsense and lost the fight. Yeah, that's exactly what happened, Technique. I saw that one. I would wish we could have got the rematch. In the year 2000, Tito vacated the welterweight championships and moved to the junior middleweight division in order to challenge the World Boxing Association champion David Reed. Okay? And early in the fight, Tito concentrated his punches on Reed's body, connecting hard punches to his ribs and belly. Now, in the second round, Reed connected a solid punch to Tito's jaw. And in the third round, Reed scored a knockdown, right? In the fourth and fifth rounds, Tito used his jab consistently, gaining control of the fight's tempo. Then the fight scores were close at the beginning of the seventh round, but Tito opened up the second half of the contest in the offensive, scoring the fight's second knockdown. He knocked Reed down in the seventh. And controlling the fight in the 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds and opening a cut over Reed's eye, right? Trinidad dominated the 11th round, scoring 3 consecutive knockdowns in the 11th round. Reed tried to close the fight on the offensive, but Tito boxed and countered his attacks. That's what Oscar should have did, you know? He should have kept boxing, throwing counters, moving. He would have won that fight. That's what Tito did. Reed tried to close on the offensive, but Tito boxed and threw counters, right? And the judges gave it to Tito by 114-107, 114-106, and 115-106, right? All for Tito. Yep. And, you know, that's how you finish a fight. You don't just go into prevent mode. You go on the defensive, but you start moving. The guy trying to close on the offensive, move and counter. That's all Oscar had to do. But he took his foot off the gas and wanted to just run around the ring. Judges don't like that. You know, a lot of them don't. And, yeah. They'll penalize you for that on them cards. The Oscar Tito fight was a perfect example. Like Technique was saying, that was a perfect example of that. Yeah. I bet you Oscar regretted that after that fight, the way he took his foot off the gas. But next was Felix Trinidad and Fernando Vargas. Okay? Trinidad versus Vargas. On December 2nd, 2000, Tito was scheduled to fight in a unification card against Fernando Vargas, the IBF junior middleweight champion. Okay, yeah, he's at junior middleweight now. And the fight began in a fast pace, with Trinidad connecting a solid left hook that led to Vargas being knocked down. The Vargas was able to stand up, but another classic left hook led to another knockdown. 2 knockdowns in the first round. Now, early in the second round, Trinidad was on the offensive, but Vargas connected a solid combination at the end of the round, right? Which caused the slight swelling under Tito's right eye. Then in the fourth round, in the opening seconds, a Vargas short left hook connected on Trinidad's jaw, and he fell on his backside, getting up immediately, marking the 8th knockdown in his career, right? In the 5th round, Vargas was in control of the fight's offensive, connecting combination to Trinidad's body. In the 6th round, Trinidad regained control of the fight's tempo, and that lasted throughout the rest of the contest, connecting punches on Vargas' head and left jabs to the ribs. In the 8th, Vargas displayed signs of exhaustion, which slowed his offensive attack, while Trinidad then pursued the offense with combinations to the body. This pattern continued throughout the 9th, 10th, and 11th rounds. Opening the final round, Vargas was on the offensive, connecting a solid left hook. Tito countered the attack with a left hook of his own that made Vargas collapse. Vargas was able to stand up, but he was subsequently knocked down for a second time in the round. And with Vargas injured, Trinidad continued connecting combinations, and he ended his combination by putting Vargas down for the 3rd time in the round for right hand, which resulted in the referee waving the fight off, making the Trinidad the winner. Wow. I think he went there, 3 times in the first and twice in the first and 3 times in the 12th. Now, during the fight, Trinidad was penalized twice for low blows, although the second one was legal, being exactly on the belt line. Vargas himself was penalized the same amount of times. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of not dirty, but it was a few low blows thrown in there, about 4 or 5 of them by each fighter. Each of them had, I think Felix might have had like 3. Vargas had at least 2. Yeah. But Tito stopped him in the last round. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Crushed the Legend in the building. Crushed the Legend and Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more in the building. What's up, gentlemen? We're talking about Tito today. Yeah. We just got finished with him and Vargas. He stopped Vargas in the last round. Put him down. I think he put him down twice in the first and 3 times in the last round. And might have been a couple more times in between. I can't remember. But at least 5 times. Finally stopped him in the last round. Yeah. Yeah, I was saying that was the era when everybody, after that era, everybody just stopped fighting everybody. But everybody in that era had fire resumes, man. Yeah. Then Floyd came along with that old. And now everybody nowadays so crazy about that old, man. They don't want to fight. Every time they fight somebody, they want to make sure it's somebody they can beat, you know. But everybody had a fire resume. And the Felix, Oscar. Look who Felix fought so far. Oscar, Fernando Vargas, Sweet Pea, Obakar, William Jaffe, Maurice Blocker. And we still got 5 or 6 fights to go. And he's fought all these people already. Okay, middleweight. Oh, he didn't fight Jaffe yet. I said Jaffe. That's next. Trinidad versus Jaffe. He took the title from Vargas at junior middleweight, so now he's going up to middleweight. Right? He had 3 divisions. He had welterweight, junior middleweight, and now he's going for middleweight. His 3rd division, okay? Middleweight. Trinidad versus Jaffe. Okay. Excuse me. Now, following his fight with Fernando Vargas, Trinidad moved up in weight once again. This time to participate in Don King's middleweight unification tournament featuring IBF champion Bernard Hopkins, WBA champion William Jaffe, and WBC champion Keith Holmes. Remember, I talked about that in the B-Hop profile. They had the tournament, right? B-Hop, William Jaffe, Tito, and Keith Holmes. Now, in the first round, Trinidad was matched against Jaffe, who he defeated by technical knockout in the 5th round of a fight that took place on May 12, 2001. And remember, B-Hop fought Keith Holmes on the 1st round. Then, winner versus winner. Now, Jaffe opened the first round on the offensive, but late in the round, Trinidad scored a knockdown with a combination of punches that came close to throwing Jaffe underneath the rope, right? Almost knocked him out the ring. Now, Tito subsequently scored a knockdown in the 4th round. During this stage of the competition, he was using combinations of left hooks and right punches to the head of Jaffe. In the 5th round, Trinidad scored another knockdown, and Jaffe attempted to continue the fight, but while he was using the ropes to help him stand, the referee stopped the fight, right? And when the contest was over, Trinidad explained his strategy by stating, "I knew he wanted to impose his will," because Jaffe was bigger, his weight, because that was Tito's first fight at middleweight, remember? And Jaffe was a regular middleweight. But Tito said, "I knew he wanted to impose his will, his weight, but I wouldn't let him do it." Okay, so Hopkins was the winner of the other fight. Who was it? Keith somebody. Who was it? Anybody remember? It's right here. I gotta know now since I asked. Oh my goodness. Keith Holmes. B-Hop fought Keith Holmes. And beat him. Trinidad beat Jaffe, so it came down to Trinidad and B-Hop, okay? Yeah. So Trinidad versus B-Hop for the championship of the tournament. 4-man tournament. There you go. Trinidad and B-Hop. Okay. There's Garner Laird Perry and Cruz. What's up, Garner? Perry and Cruz. How are you? Yeah. Did we have, I think, did we do Camacho yet? I'm not, wait a minute. Yeah, yeah, I think he fought Camacho already. Yeah, that was way back then. But salute, was it a Camacho too? I think he fought Camacho once. But salute, Gamer Perry and Cruz. How are you today? Welcome to Cast Sports. Boxing history, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Don't miss next week. Next week is going to be on fire. Okay? Miss next week at your own peril. Trinidad versus Hopkins. Okay? Middleweight unification fight. The middleweight unification fight between Hopkins and Trinidad was originally scheduled for September 15th, 2001 at the Madison Square Garden. But you know what happened on that, right? On the morning of September 11th, terrorists attacked the World Trade Center. Following this incident, the fight was postponed indefinitely. After receiving assurances from Madison Square Garden officials in the city of New York, Don King rescheduled the fight for September 29th, right? Like 2 weeks later. Because remember, the September 11th happened. That fight was supposed to be 3 days after that. 4 days, if that hadn't happened. Because that was I think it was on a Tuesday, right? Yeah, the fight was supposed to be that Saturday. But it rescheduled for a couple weeks later, September 29th. Now, the pace of the fight in the early rounds was slow, with each fighter studying his opponent. Yeah, Trinidad had a history of doing that, looking at his opponent early, figuring him out. And B-Hop did the same thing. Each fighter started slow, studying his opponent. In the second round, Hopkins connected some combinations, while Trinidad pursued the offensive in the fourth round, and both fighters traded sequences of punches. The pattern continued in the fifth round, with Trinidad showing an aggressive style, while Hopkins relied on jabs. In the sixth round, Trinidad continued in an offensive stance and won the round after trading several combinations. Both fighters continued to exchange punches in the eighth and ninth rounds, with Hopkins connecting 3 consecutive solid punches. In the 12th and final round, Hopkins scored a knockdown. But before the fight could continue, Trinidad's father entered the ring, which led to the referee stopping the fight by TKO. Yeah, you can't come in there unless you're coming in there to stop it while that clock ticks in the corner. Only reason the corner man's supposed to be in there is to stop the fight. Now, prior to the fight, members of Hopkins' team visited the Trinidad dressing room in what is considered a normal boxing custom, to watch the taping of Trinidad's hands. The Hopkins camp claimed that Trinidad's hands were wrapped incorrectly and threatened to cancel the fight unless they were re-wrapped correctly. Nazim Richardson, who was part of Hopkins' corner for the Trinidad fight, clarified that Trinidad's wraps were not wrapped in accordance to the New York Commission laws, but his hand wraps did conform to the rules of other states. Okay, so I don't think they rewrapped them. I'm going to have to check, but I'm not sure about that. But next fight, okay, let's see. He went to Puerto Rico and threw the flag. Yeah, I remember that. I think that was the mindset. Yeah, he almost started a riot. Cavalier, Curry, and Cruz. I remember that. He did the same thing in the New York press conference, remember? And then he did it again in Puerto Rico, and almost the security had to get B-Hop out of there. Yeah, I remember that. Cavalier, Curry, and Cruz. He sure did. Yeah, Wilfredo Gomez. I got Carlos Ortiz for my best Puerto Rican boxer. Wilfredo Gomez is top 5, top 2 or 3. But make a good argument for Wilfredo Cavalier. But I got Carlos Ortiz as my number 1 Puerto Rican fighter. Fought back in the 60s. Lightweight, bad man, yeah. But they all top 5. Ortiz, Tito. We're going to talk about some Puerto Rican fighters after we finish this, because we're going to have some time. Okay, that's going to be a good topic to touch on. Some good Puerto Rican fighters, okay? Now, his next fight after B-Hop, Trinidad was, let's see something. Wow, wait. Is that my chat? I think I invented in the wrong place. Look at all this. Salute everybody. Everybody hit the like button, please. Appreciate you joining me. Let's finish this off. I seen that number up there. I thought I was in the wrong place. But appreciate everybody rocking with me. I don't want to miss anybody. Okay. Oh yeah, his next fight after B-Hop. Trinidad was subsequently scheduled to fight against Hacine Sharifi. No, that ain't how you say his name, but that's how I say it. Hacine, let me put it in there. You know how I do. Okay. Hacine Sharifi. Okay, then we're going to talk about this fight. This is what I do. I can't pronounce a lot of names, and I know I'm not saying this one right, but this is it right here. Cherifi. There he is. Hacine Sharifi. That's right, ain't it? Hacine Sharifi. That's who he fought next. Next fight. Tito, I'm just going to say Hacine, something like that. Trinidad was subsequently scheduled to fight against Hacine Sharifi in a contest that he won by technical knockout in the 4th round. Okay? The event was part of a card that took place on May 11th, 2002, and was organized in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Now, early in the first round, Trinidad's strategy consisted of using his jab, while Sharifi did not try to directly engage on the offense. Now, in the last minute of the first round, a punch by Trinidad hit Sharifi's chin, leaving him disoriented. They followed this up with a combination and scored a knockdown. In the second round, Trinidad displayed more boxing and was on the offensive by using combinations to the head and ribs. In the third, Sharifi landed more punches than in the previous 2 rounds, but Trinidad relied on throwing left jabs. One of his punches hit Sharifi's liver, followed by a punch to the jaw, making Sharifi fall to the floor. In the fourth, a series of combinations injured Sharifi, who collapsed to the floor twice, forfeiting the fight on the second occasion. Following this contest, Trinidad announced his retirement, at the moment leaving the sport with a record of 41 wins, 1 loss, and 34 wins by knockout. But he came back against Ricardo Mayorga. Okay? Come back. Okay, a lot of people rolled out, but I hope they had the like before they left. They didn't, but that's all good. Come back. Trinidad versus Mayorga. Trinidad announced a comeback on March 2nd, 2004. On October 2nd, 2004, he fought against Ricardo Mayorga in Madison Square Garden. Okay? Yeah, Winky. Yeah, I got Winky's coming up, I think. He hadn't fought Winky yet, Cavalier. He's coming up. Yeah, this fight was in the Garden against Ricardo Mayorga. Now, early in the first round, Mayorga was on the offensive, connecting several combinations. Later in the round, Trinidad connected some punches to his opponent's face. Mayorga reacted defiantly while lowering his defenses, which Trinidad used to continue the offensive. During the closing seconds, you put your hands down, yeah. In the second round, Tito continued connecting with combinations to Mayorga's face, which caused him to bleed from his nose. And the round concluded with both fighters exchanging punches. In the third round, Mayorga attempted to counter with punches to the body, but he did not do significant damage to Trinidad. However, later in the round, one of Mayorga's punches made Trinidad lose his balance and touched the floor with one glove, which the referee counted as a knockdown. Yep, any part of their body touched the canvas other than them feet, it's a knockdown. Yep, including the glove. In the fourth round, both fighters traded hard combinations. In the fifth, Trinidad displayed control of the offensive tempo, injuring Mayorga and opening a cut under one of his eyes. This pattern continued in the sixth and seventh rounds, and the cut on Mayorga's face began to swell. Then in the eighth round, Trinidad scored several knockdowns, Mayorga continued after 2 knockdowns, but lost by technical knockout following a 3rd knockdown. Okay, here's Winky right now. I gotta keep looking at your name. Gamaliel, Curry, and Cruz. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do Boxing? 4 o'clock, Shorty. Coming up at 4 p.m. You know, balanced, unbiased boxing talk. Everybody gets to Just Do at Just Do Boxing. Salute Just Do. We're talking about Tito Trinidad today. Trinidad versus Wright. Winky. There you go. Trinidad, Winky, and Don King. That's why I said that's what's missing from today. Don is still around, but he's not acting like he was in previous eras. If he was acting like that today, we would be getting these fights. I promise you. We would be getting these fights. Yeah, Don knew how to make them. He'd be telling these guys, forget that, get your ass in that ring. Yeah, Don had a way of getting them in there too. Winky. We're going to talk about some Puerto Rican boxers after this. Okay? Because, we got some legendary Puerto Rican boxers, man. Trinidad versus Wright. Okay? On May 14th, 2005, Trinidad competed against Winky Wright in a fight where the winner would become the World Boxing Council's #1 challenger in the middleweight division. Now, Wright won the fight by decision, receiving scores of 120-107, and 2 judges had it 119-108. Very wide, man. Very wide. And Trinidad's fighting style seemed to be out of rhythm in the first round, while Winky presented a defensive stance and relied on jabs. During the first 3 rounds, Winky was on the offensive, going with his jabs. In the 4th round, Tito connected a solid combination. In the 6th, Winky continued the strategy used in the previous rounds, while Tito employed a strategy where he tried to neutralize Winky's punches by standing in front of him. Now, in the later rounds, Tito tried to take the contest offensive, but his adversary, Winky, managed to block most of his punches, while continuing his previous tactic. In the 12th and final round, Tito pursued Wright while trying to score a knockout. Yeah, Tito clearly needed a knockout by the 12th round. Winky almost threw a shutout. One judge did give him a shutout, but Winky boxed away from him until the round ended. Following this fight, Tito retired again, 2nd time, after his father informed him that he would no longer continue in his corner. Yeah, Gregory Trinidad, his father, left his corner. And Tito's father also trained the guy that Duran fought 3 times in this, Esteban de Jesus. Yeah, he trained Esteban de Jesus too. Okay, then after Winky, Roy Jones Jr. There we go. Rosario. Yeah, Rosario is I'm for sure. I'm gonna cover them all. I do a profile every Friday of a former boxer. Every Friday, and everyone's gonna get his chance to. Next Friday is Sugar Ray Robinson. We're gonna start the week next week with Fantasy Matchups Money with the Big Bear, Sonny Liston, and we're gonna end it with the profile next Friday, Sugar Ray Robinson. Don't miss next week. The whole week is fire. Man. I can't wait till they get here. Trinidad versus Roy Jones Jr. Okay. Now, Tito came out of retirement again, 2nd time, for a fight against former 40 division champion Roy Jones Jr. on January 19th, 2008. Now, according to the contract, it was contested at a catch weight of 170 pounds and was broadcast live on HBO pay-per-view. And the fight took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Tito began the fight on the offensive and won the first 2 rounds. Yeah. The 3rd and 4th rounds were won by Jones, who relied on the velocity of his punches. This pattern continued in the 5th and 6th rounds. Now in the 7th round, Jones scored a knockdown following a right hand. Following this, Jones continued to use his speed while Tito pursued the offensive. Then in the 10th round, Jones scored a second knockdown after landing a combination. The judges declared the fight a unanimous decision in favor of Jones with scores of 117-109, and 2 judges had it 116-110. Okay? And then after that, he finally retired for real this time. I mean, they all were for real, but for good, for good. He didn't come back. Okay? Let's talk about his retirement and personal life a little. We're going to talk about Carlos Ortiz, Edmund Rosario, Camacho, some of these Gomez, some of these legendary Puerto Rican fighters, man. Okay? But retirement. After the Jones fight, Trinidad was inactive for almost 2 years before announcing on October 14th, 2009, that he was between 95 and 98% sure that he would not do anything more within boxing. And during this time frame, he made sporadic public appearances, attending fights, boxing cards, and participating in public activities, including a ceremony where Juan Manuel Lopez and Yvonne Calderon received rings for 5 successful defenses of their world championships. Now, beginning in July 2009, Tito became involved with the World Wrestling Council, participating as a guest referee at their anniversary show. 3 months after that, he was included in a storyline that also included Orlando Colon. In 2010, Tito expressed interest in purchasing the Changos de Naranjito. Now, on September 12, 2018, Judge Anthony Cuevas Ramos signed a letter which declared that the Banco Popular de Puerto Rico must pay Tito $2 million within 24 hours due to them owing him interest money from his personal accounts at the bank. Wow, $2 million in 24 hours. On February 13th, 2023, the Trinidadians reached a confidential agreement to solve their problems with their debtors, including Banco Popular de Puerto Rico, without going to court. Personal life. Felix Trinidad was born in Fajardo, Puerto Rico, to a Puerto Rican family. During his childhood, the family moved to Coupé Alto, a subdivision of San Juan, Puerto Rico, where he grew up. His future wife, Sharon Santiago, lived in Coupé and first met Trinidad in the home of her neighborhood friend, a classmate of Trinidad's. Trinidad pursued a relationship with Santiago, including an attempt to impress her with his red Ford Mustang. He continued to press for her affection, and with the help of Santiago's neighbor, Trinidad was able to win her over. Early on, Santiago's mother thought that Trinidad was related to her daughter's friend, but she realized the true situation when she visited the friend's house and he acted nervous in her presence. Santiago's father objected to the relationship because Trinidad was an athlete at the time. And at the time, many athletes had a negative public image. But I bet when he saw all that money coming in for that boxing, I bet he switched up then. Santiago became rebellious, but Trinidad eventually won her family's trust, probably after he became a professional boxer. Now, the couple was married 4 years after they began dating and have had 4 daughters. Trinidad has a 5th daughter named Alondra Nicole from another relationship. And there you have it, the life and career of Felix Tito Trinidad. Let's look at some other Puerto Rican boxers right quick. Like Carlos. Let's look at Carlos Ortiz, man. Legendary. That's my number 1 for me. Pamela Yes said it was Wilfred Benitez, so we're going to look at him next. Technique says, just do your reaction to Teofimo using the word monkey is funny. Yeah. Yeah, that Just Do Boxing show is fire, man. Coming up at 4 p.m. A half hour from now. Yeah. I'm gonna carry you right on. That's who I'm warming you up for. I'm gonna carry you right on up to the doorstep of Just Do Boxing. And then guess what? We're gonna bum rush on up in there. Okay? We're gonna bum rush it. Friday. I know it's gonna be fire. Let's look at Carlos Ortiz right quick, man. That's my number one Puerto Rican boxer. Then we're gonna look at Wilfred. Who you say? Gomez. Yeah. Wilfredo Gomez next. Okay. Just briefly look at him. Now, Carlos. Wait a minute now. I guess I better put in Carlos Ortiz boxer because they give me some professional golfer. Not him. The boxer. Okay. There he is. Not the golfer. Now, Carlos held world titles in lightweight and light welterweight weight divisions. And along with Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto, Wilfredo Gomez, Hector Camacho, Jose Torres, Evan Rosario, and Wilfred Benitez, Ortiz is considered among the best Puerto Rican boxers of all time by sports journalists and analysts and Cast Sports The Box Historian. As of January 2018, Ortiz holds the record for the most wins in unified lightweight title fights history at 10. In 1991, Ortiz was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. In 2002, Ortiz was voted by the Ring magazine as the 60th greatest fighter of the last 80 years, right? He held 21st place on BoxRec ranking of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers of all time, okay? And Carlos, let's say, what was Carlos's record? Okay, let's look at Carlos's record. But remember, don't miss next week. Next week is going to be off the chain. Okay. Oh, come on, man. There we go. Now, Carlos had 69 fights during his career. He won 61. He had 7 losses, 1 draw, 30 knockouts. Okay, he wasn't a power guy. He had 30 knockouts, though. Legendary. Okay, now let's look at Gamayer's guy, Wilfredo Gomez. That's who he said was the number one Puerto Rican fighter of all times. Wilfredo Gomez. All times. Wilfredo Gomez. Okay? Let's look at him right quick. We're going to look at, since we was talking about Tito, we're going to look at a couple Puerto Rican fighters. So let's shut this thing down here. Okay, Wilfredo Gomez. Yeah. And, of course, he's also mentioned as one of the best Puerto Ricans of all time, right? And he started his career out 17 straight knockouts, okay? And 17 consecutive knockouts in championship defenses as a junior featherweight. That is a record for all boxing divisions. And he's ranked number 13 on the Ring magazine's list of the 100 greatest punchers of all time, okay? Let me do something real quick. Bear with me for 1 second because that don't tell a story about him, man. That don't tell a story at all about Wilfredo Gomez. That don't do it justice. Bear with me for a second. 1 second. Okay, you gotta listen to this. That don't do it no justice. And the thing don't say live, man. Okay. I don't know what's going on there, but we'll find out. Bear with me. Oh, there we go. There we go. I had lost the chat. Got to be able to see the chat, man. You know? Yeah, I don't need that in there. Yeah, that didn't do Wilfredo justice. Because this man won like 35 fights out the gate, you know? Right off right at the beginning of his career. I'm gonna tell you in a minute. And he had a point there, man. Wilfredo is in the argument. I would probably make him number 2 when I'm talking about top Puerto Rican fighters of all time. Yeah, Wilfredo would probably be number 2. Okay, here it is, right here. Wilfredo Gomez started his career with 4. Okay, bear with me. Yeah, like 30 of his first 31 fights or some crazy number like that was knockouts, man. And that's the record, Wilfredo Gomez. And let's talk about him now. Wilfredo. Here he is. There's Wilfredo. Yeah, he had I think it was 30 out of 31 or 31 out of 32 of his first fights when he started his career with knockouts. Now, he had a total of 48 fights. He won 44, lost 3, had 1 draw, 42 knockouts, okay? That is the knockout rate of 95% knockout rate, okay? 95% for Wilfredo Gomez. Knockout rate, man. That's crazy. And sometimes referred to as Bazooka Gomez. 3-weight world champion, right? Wilfredo Gomez. Bad man. Started his career 17 consecutive knockouts in championship defenses. Okay. And he had a pretty fire amateur career too. Wilfredo did. Okay, we're winding down there. Just talking about some Puerto Rican fighters. Somebody mentioned Edwin Rosario. Let's take a look at Edwin. Edwin Rosario. Another top 5 Puerto Rican boxer. Edwin competed from 1979 to 1997, 18-year career. 2-weight world champion, WBC lightweight title from 83 to 84, WBA lightweight title between 86 and 1990. And he had the WBA super lightweight title from 91 to 92. And he had a total of 53 fights. He won 47, lost 6, 41 by knockout. That's not a bad rate there either. 41 by knockout. That's high 80s. Somewhere around in there. A lot of fights. Told you, 87%. Edwin Rosario, 87%. Okay? I was getting ready to say Felix Trinidad, but the profile was on Felix. Hector Camacho. Another top 5 Puerto Rican fighter, Hector Camacho. Okay? Let's get Hector up here. Hector Camacho. The Macho Man. Felix fought him. Remember? Hector had that got murdered down there in Puerto Rico. I think they caught like about 5 people that was involved in that though. Azim Shabazz. What's up, Azim? Tito beat Camacho Azim. I'd seen Azim in a while. How you doing? Where you been, Azim? Azim, don't miss next week, man. After I do Hector, I'm going to tell y'all about next week again. Can't tell y'all about next week enough. But Hector the Macho Man. Okay? The Macho Man. He had a total of 88 fights, right? Winning 79, losing 6, 38 by knockout. Macho was more like a slick. He wasn't a power guy, okay? Yeah. Macho Man, but he was a bad man. He what happened? Bear with me for a minute. There's Hector again. Okay. There we go. Now, Hector, he was also an entertainer, too. Now, he was known for his quickness in the ring and flamboyant style, right? He competed from 1980 to 2010. He had a 30-year career. 3-weight world champion, WBC super featherweight title from 1983 to 1984, the WBC lightweight title from 1985 to 1987, and the WBO junior welterweight title twice between 1989 and 1992. Slick southpaw. Now next week, okay, we're gonna start out Monday with the Big Bear, Sonny Liston. Okay, fantasy matchups Monday, Sonny Liston versus the Legends, and then Tuesday it's going to be speed versus power. Which is the most beneficial? Having speed or having power? Well, look at the fighters that had both. Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather had speed and power. Then nobody just run up there on Floyd any kind of way. Then we're going to talk about 12 of the fastest fighters in history, and then 12 of the most powerful boxers. Boxer with the most power in history. Then Wednesday is brought to you by Jarrell Hattie. Got a show out of the chat. Jarrell wanted to know about some of the biggest showmen in boxing history, you know, like Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd, them guys. Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran wasn't no flamboyant guy or anything, but he was a showman in them 70s. The Hands of Stone. 72 fights, 71 knockouts. That's about as showman as you can get, man. Yeah. And Thursday is boxing in the States, but it's a big one. Michigan. Home of the Kronk Gym, the legendary Kronk Gym. And then boxers whose careers played out in Michigan. Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. The Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Thomas the Hitman Hearns. All them guys out of that legendary Kronk Gym, man. Yeah, that's Thursday. And then we're going to end it up with the profile. Mr. Pound for Pound himself again. Sugar Ray Robinson. All that's next week. Okay, don't miss next week. That's potentially the best show in cast sports history. Oh, damn. I didn't put the link. I was wondering. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even put the link in. I thought I had it. Damn, I'm running my mouth. Sorry about that. I'm going to put the link in. I could have sworn I did it. We still got 15 minutes. I'll be damned. Excuse me. Y'all sure that link ain't in there? Ain't that crazy? Wow. Here we go. Yeah, but don't miss next week. I'm telling y'all. If you do, people going to be telling you about it. You're going to be like, damn, Cass told us not to miss it. Mm-hmm. A big one. And then who y'all got though? Regis or Jack Catterall? Keep wanting to say Regis or Kathy Lee. No, y'all remember that show? I kept doing that yesterday. There's the link. I thought it was in. I swear I thought it was in there. I was wondering why nobody hit it. I see why now. It wasn't in. God damn. Oh shit. I see exactly why nobody didn't hit it. It wasn't in. We got 15 minutes before Just Do Boxing takes over these YouTube airwaves. I mean, no, JBT airwaves. God damn. Man, what the hell is going on? Excuse me. Don't do that. Don't hit that. Let me just stop talking for like a minute. Just do it. Be on by the time I get it in. And this is Friday. We got the Friday night hangout. And then we got the Rise podcast. And then we got the Angry White Men tonight. D1 William Old School Rant. Closing the day down for us. Yep. Yep. Closing it down for us. And also next week, the third season of Let's Talk Fashion returns. He took a long break. That ain't happening no more. You don't get no long breaks like that. Okay? But he'll be back Wednesday at 10 a.m. for his, oh Lord, I don't know what the hell's going on, man. Forget the link, man. Forget it. We'll do it next week. Okay? Because it's time for Just Do Boxing almost. But I hope everybody enjoyed today's show. I sure did. And next week, the profile will be Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay? So thank you, Melanin Queen. Mr. Pound for Pound himself. He was the man that the Pound for Pound list was created for. Sugar Ray. Bad man. But he did duck one of the murderous road fighters, Charles Burley. Sugar Ray Robinson's manager admitted they kept Sugar Ray away from Charles Burley. They wanted no part of him. And so did a lot of other people didn't either. Those guys had to fight each other to just get fights. Yep. Yep, they had to fight each other just to get fights. Isn't that a shame? game. Here's the correct link if anybody cares to hit it. Finally. We got like 10 minutes. Yeah, Zine, haven't seen you in a while. Definitely always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, when does the World Series start? Has it started? I got the Yankees in about 6 games this year. One up against the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers got the home court, right? My Orioles always get in the playoffs and then can't win a game. You know? Just don't understand it. They won 100 games last year in the regular season and got swept in the playoffs. Then this year, got in there again and got swept. Well, but at least they making it. We went like 20 years without even making the playoffs. So, you know, at least they got in. But everybody seems to like that Fantasy Matchups Monday. I got over 1,000 views, headed toward 2,000. Got like 20 subscribers. Anybody not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to make it to 1,000. About 150 short right now. You're gonna make it though. Like I say, Rome wasn't built in a day. Oh, I got one today. Thank you. And hit the like button. It all matters. We got Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. in a little over 5 minutes. Appreciate everybody for stopping through today. And always enjoy your company. I'll be back Monday with Fantasy Matchups Monday. This Monday is going to be the Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. How will Sonny Liston fare against the two Jacks from the early 20th century? Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey. Or some of these guys fighting now. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. We probably would knock all of them out, but we're going to do that. We're going to have them fighting like 15 to 20 fighters from all eras, including this era. All heavyweights this week. You know, we had Manny this Monday, and, you know, Manny went from 112 all the way up to 154, so he had a wide range that he went up against. And, this Monday, the Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Big week coming up. Tuesday is Speed versus Power. Which one is the most advantageous to have, speed or power? Okay. We're going to look at 12 of the fastest guys in boxing history, and 12 of the most powerful fighters in boxing history. And then Wednesday, I can't stop talking about next week. Wednesday, it's a show out of the chat. Brought to you by Jarrell Hattie, Mr. Jaw, J-A-H, always up on the panel, starting trouble. He ain't here today. But Jaw is bringing us Wednesday's show, and it's some of the biggest showmen in boxing history. If the Jaw was here, he would be up here. Some of the biggest showmen but he's a Cash Sports regular. Some of the biggest showmen in boxing history. Thursday is a big one. Boxing in the States continues with Michigan. Remember the legendary Kronk Gym? Sugar Ray Robinson, Joe Louis, Thomas Hearns. All them guys come out of that Kronk Gym. We're going to talk about some of them. And then we end next week with the profile, Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. Okay? So that's next week. Don't miss it. So let's get ready to put this week in the history books. Okay? Appreciate everybody. Azim Shabazz, Just Do Boxing, Gamayer, Perry and Cruz, Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Crush, the legend. Melanin Queen 27. Appreciate you, Melanin Queen. Alonzo, Amazing. Ant McQueen, Mike Rim, Big Dre, Thomas Hill, Technique, Mike Mazik, Al Booger, and Miss Cass. Appreciate everybody. I'll be back with another show Monday because you know, if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all of that boxing history. Just do boxing straight ahead. This is Cass Sports. Everybody have a great weekend. I will see y'all in those JBT streets. I'm out.